Love yours. No such thing. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. Love yours. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing. No such thing.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley and today I'm going to be showing you how we took our fireplace from looking sad to looking stunning. I will say up front that I had no idea what I was doing. I've never done anything like this before, but I watched some YouTube videos, I looked on Google for some inspiration photos, and I decided that I have the skills to make something happen. Something. That being said, this is not a tutorial. It is more so to provide you some insight into how I accomplish my fireplace transformation and maybe to inspire you to do a fireplace transformation. So this house was actually built in 1985 and it's not like super old, but it did need some updating. And the fireplace was not terrible, but it wasn't good either. And I really knew that once I started upgrading and modernizing things around the fireplace was actually going to start sticking out even more. So let's get into what I actually did. I started by removing the old wooden mantle and giving all of the tiles a nice good scrub down. I just used some method cleaner and a scrubbing sponge. We have been doing the renovation for a few weeks at this time, so I really wanted to get any dust that was kicked up into the air off of the tile. Any dust or residue on the tile would prevent the paint from adhering properly. Since I already painted the walls in this area, I wanted to protect the majority of the paint, so I used this tape that already has the plastic attached to it. It really is a time saver and it just was a good product. Speaking of products, anything that I use in this video that I think is worthwhile, I will link down below. And if you have any questions about something that I didn't link, just ask and I'll link it for you. Notice, I didn't do anything to protect the floors, but we didn't have any flooring installed yet. It was just concrete. But if you have your floors installed, just lay down something to protect your flooring. You don't want to mess that up. I used this Rust-Oleum high heat automotive primer paint in a black to cover the tiles. I didn't want to remove them and just replace them with a black tile because it was a bigger project than I really wanted to take on at the time. I am a DIYer at heart and I really enjoy being able to take something existing and give it a new life, allow it to look different, function different, etc. And it also is good for my pockets, it's good for the environment, and it's really just a good experience being able to turn something into something else. I had to do about 3 coats of the paint to get full coverage. I actually painted the tiles and the metal surround on the fireplace that was already black. I painted that because they were going to be side by side, and if it's one thing that my Virgo brain cannot handle, it is colors that are supposed to be the same right next to each other and they don't match, specifically blacks. As you can see in these videos, painting just the tile alone did so much to transform this fireplace. I really could have just built the mantle, left the tiles black, and just moved on to another project, but I was already committed to the drama, so we kept going. So to do the framing, I actually used 1x8 boards on the sides of the fireplace and I adhered everything to the wall using a staple gun that I borrowed from my dad. I started with the 1x8s and used a 1x1 across the top just to frame around the tiles. Then I used 1x4s from the top of the tile to the ceiling. I used the 1x4s because I felt like the 1x8s from the floor to the ceiling would make it look too heavy, and I really wanted to keep in mind scale for this project. I used an interlocking shiplap from Lowe's that was already painted white. I did end up going back and giving everything a fresh coat of white because, like I said earlier, I wanted all of the whites to be the exact same color. One thing you'll see me do is measure for every board and then make sure that each board was level before I actually nailed it into the wall. You want to make sure that every board is level going up, because one unlevel board will throw all the rest of the boards off. So just make sure, it takes a couple seconds to check, just make sure you're staying level. And would this even be a Ashley Renee project if you didn't see my dad come over and if he wasn't giving me a quality inspection on my measuring and cutting? Y'all give it up for my dad, because he really was the MVP. He came over so many days and lended a hand, and he was taking breaks from work to come help, and I just love him. I pretty much just repeated the same process all the way up the wall to the ceiling, and then I used a strip of 1/4 round at the top to just frame that and give it a clean line. I gave the whole thing a fresh coat of white paint. I used a semi-gloss white paint from Sherwin-Williams. I think it was extra white if I'm not mistaken. My mom came over and scraped the glass on the fireplace doors off for me. She had been coming over and asking me for projects, so she came over this day, and this was like the perfect project for me. Actually, my whole family was there. My brother was in town, my mom was there, my husband was there, my dad, and one of my friends actually came by to help me finish up painting the closets as well. So here's what it looked like at the end of the day. Like I said, it made a huge difference being able to see, and I'll show you some angles of what it looked like when you first come in the door. And I just knew that it was going to be the statement that I was looking for, especially once the flooring was installed. So I tried it out with a piece of the flooring that we were really interested in, just to make sure that everything was cohesive. So far, you've seen me utilize a lot of black, white, gray, but the flooring was going to be the thing that brought in some of the natural tones with the wood LVP. So this project isn't finished yet. I actually still need to build a mantle, but I saved that project for another day. I really wanted to get the base of the fireplace transformation done so that I can get it painted and have all of our paint projects wrapped up before the flooring is installed, because it really is just more of a pain to have to cover the entire floor. I want to talk about something that is really personal to me, but because I know everyone who's watching my videos does not know me personally, I feel the need to share. This video was a real struggle for me to edit, and I almost decided to skip it because I wanted to keep the footage private for myself, but I knew that that wasn't going to work either. A couple of days after we finished the fireplace, my family had a massive family emergency, and unfortunately, my mother passed away very unexpectedly. It was a devastating blow to our family and like a struggle to say the least. My mom had been such a huge part of this process, and to go from having my entire family was at the house the day we were working on the fireplace. So to go from that and like really enjoying each other's company to then planning my mother's celebration of life and still having to do this renovation project at the same time. I have not been challenged like that mentally, physically, spiritually, all at the same time in my life. I wanted to quit. I really wanted to just stop. I wanted to just, go into hiding. But I just knew in the pit of my stomach that if I wanted to honor my mom in the way that she deserved, that wasn't what we were going to be able to do. And so we all collectively pushed. We pushed through. We continued on. We relied heavily on contractors moving forward. Some family friends came by and did projects for me while I was dealing with other things. One of the things that happened from this point on was that I no longer have in-process footage of every single project that we were doing at the time. Prior to my mom passing, I was being super diligent about recording and all those things, but I am not one of those people who wants to record myself crying or just super emotional or sitting with just heavy feelings. Even if I don't express that, it just doesn't feel right to me. I will be showing what I did and the outcome and talking about how I did it. And there is still some footage and I'm going to share it all. But I wanted to let you know that because some of the footage from this point on will be kind of choppy. And I just wanted to explain that before we got there. So like I said, this all happened a couple of days after we finished the fireplace. So the footage that I shared of my mom helping me scrape the paint off the glass on the fireplace is the last footage that I have recorded of her. And she was spending her time with me, helping me like she had done my entire life. So it's really, really special to me, and I could not leave her out of this renovation. I just couldn't do that. I wouldn't be doing her justice. I would not be honoring her in the way that I want to. So everything that you see in the following videos is dedicated to my mom. Donna Renee Barbie, may she rest in eternal peace.
Love yours.